They say karma never forgets an address. And on that stormy morning, it remembered Willow Hills. I stood on the ridge above the neighborhood, sipping my coffee while blood-red water surged through million-dollar homes. Lawn statues floated like ghosts. Fences collapsed like matchsticks. And from her rooftop, screaming into a useless phone, was Victoria Halston, HOA president, who ordered my flood control system destroyed. Oh, the irony. The very dam she had sabotaged could have saved her whole kingdom. 6 months earlier, my wife Maria, daughter Sophie, and I had moved into Willow Hills for a quiet life. I'm a former military engineer turned infrastructure consultant. When we bought the house, nobody told us it sat directly on an old runoff path. First rain. I saw it immediately. Sloped yard. Water stains. Bad drainage. But the HOA? They were more concerned about mailbox colors and whether your porch lights were too bright. Victoria introduced herself on day one, handing me a binder thicker than a legal textbook. "We value uniformity," she said, smiling like a tax audit. I tried to respect the rules until the safety of my family got involved. See, the HOA had buried a report 5 years ago showing severe flood risk. How did I find out? A retired neighbor, Frank, quietly handed me a copy after he saw me inspecting my backyard with a surveyor's eye. When I presented a small flood diversion plan at the HOA meeting, a discreet earthen dam and natural drainage redirect, they laughed. Victoria said it would be an eyesore. "We're building a lifestyle here, not a mudslide museum," she quipped. But the truth ran deeper. A local reporter tipped me off. Victoria was in talks with a developer called Ridgestone Properties. Their plan? Let certain homes flood, drive down property values, then scoop up land cheap and flip it into luxury condos. I wasn't having it. I built the dam anyway in my land. Legally. Natural rock. Native plants. A subtle slope design. Sophie helped plant wildflowers on it. "We're building a garden fortress," she said. My wife warned me Victoria plays dirty. And boy, did she. 2 weeks later, my dam was trashed. Security footage caught Victoria and her VP sneaking onto my property at night with shovels. I reported it. The HOA responded by slapping me with a $10,000 fine for unauthorized earthworks and threatened to foreclose if I didn't pay. That's when things turned from petty to personal. We dug deeper. Maria, who happens to be a legal analyst, found evidence of financial misconduct, HOA funds used for landscaping projects tied to Victoria's brother's firm. Another resident, Lisa, showed us proof her flood insurance had been mysteriously denied right after she questioned the HOA's maintenance budget. And then the storm hit. Forecasts had warned us, but nothing could have prepared us. Heavy rain swept in days earlier than predicted. Water levels rose fast. My new drainage system, though damaged, still redirected most of the flow away from our foundation. But the rest of the neighborhood? Chaos. Flooded basements. Cars underwater. People trapped. And then came the text message from an anonymous number. They blocked the main drainage tunnel with concrete. I ran to check, and yep, someone had sealed it shut. I knew exactly who. With emergency services overwhelmed, we took matters into our own hands. We created a neighborhood command center in my garage. Volunteers coordinated sandbag lines, food drops, and rescue routes. My old military training kicked in. We even rigged a kayak rescue unit using inflatable pools. Victoria? She refused to let medics use her elevated driveway as a staging point. Said it would ruin her cobblestones. That's when the residents snapped. Doug, her VP, finally spoke up. His nephew had almost drowned during a flood 5 years ago. He admitted Victoria knew the risks, but chose profits over people. And with that confession, we acted. We built an emergency overflow barrier on Victoria's back lot. Illegally? Maybe. But morally? 100% right. That night, Victoria tried to sabotage the barrier. This time, she got caught on camera and residents placed her under citizen's arrest. By morning, the flood had reached her home. She was dragged out on an inflatable raft, clutching a soggy purse and screaming, "I am the HOA president. I demand priority rescue." Her image went viral within hours. In the aftermath, the truth unraveled fast. Emails, financial documents, developer contracts, all pointing to a deliberate scheme to devalue homes through engineered neglect. The state launched a full investigation. Victoria was indicted for fraud and reckless endangerment. Ridgestone lost its license in the county. And us? We rebuilt. A year later, Willow Hills is thriving. We installed terrain gardens, reinforced retention walls, and built a real drainage system. Doug now leads a transparent HOA with public budgets and monthly community meetings. We even host flood drills with lemonade stands for the kids. My daughter still calls our new system the Garden Fortress. And she's not wrong. It's beautiful, functional, community-powered. And every time I walk past that ridge where I first watched the flood begin, I'm reminded, when people put greed over safety, disaster isn't just inevitably, it's earned. So tell me in the comments, have you ever had to stand up to a corrupt HOA or community board? What would you have done in my place? Let's hear your story. We're all neighbors now.